A storm is brewing inside Ferrari. This one didn't come from the racetrack. Just when the team was gearing up for a new chapter with Lewis Hamilton, something unexpected sent shockwaves across the Formula One community. The man who stood by Hamilton's side for years, his trusted race engineer, was suddenly removed from Ferrari's inner circle. The news didn't just raise eyebrows. It sparked fear within the garage and left fans and insiders questioning whether Ferrari's ambitious plans were already falling apart. But what exactly happened behind the scenes of one of the sport's most iconic teams? Let's peel this story back. In Formula One, the bond between a driver and their race engineer goes far beyond technical talk. It's built on trust, instinct, and unspoken understanding. Drivers depend on their engineer completely, especially when their bodies are enduring 5G forces and their pulse races past 180 beats per minute. Engineers don't just pass on instructions, they provide emotional stability when everything else is chaos. Lewis Hamilton, more than anyone, knows the value of that connection. For over 10 years, he shared every on-track moment with Peter Bonington, fondly known as Bono. In a world where everything is measured down to the microsecond, Bono remained as constant. Whether it was a crucial strategy call, a moment of encouragement, or silence when needed, Bono knew exactly how to respond. Their relationship wasn't built in a day. It grew over 11 seasons, 82 victories, and 4 championships, and now, that steady voice was missing. At Ferrari, Hamilton found himself listening to a different voice, Riccardo Adami, but that voice didn't carry the same weight. It lacked conviction. It didn't provide the assurance Hamilton had grown used to. Ferrari isn't just another racing outfit, it's a cultural giant. The team carries a legacy older than the modern Formula One era itself. With pride wrapped in red, Ferrari is both a badge of honor and a burden of history. Yet, beyond the charm and tradition, there's another side to Ferrari, a side shaped by tight hierarchies, complicated internal systems, and a reluctance to adapt. Riccardo Adami had long been a familiar face within this environment. He'd previously worked closely with Sebastian Vettel and had strong roots in the team's established way of functioning. To many, Adami wasn't just an engineer. He was seen as someone aligned with the old guard, and more recently, as someone loyal to team principal Fred Vassar. In a setup where loyalty matters as much as skill, this raised serious questions. Things grew even more delicate when Lewis Hamilton stepped in. He didn't arrive quietly. He brought with him a reputation unlike any other, a driver with unmatched achievements, global reach, and an undeniable presence. And that presence made many in Ferrari's traditional circles feel unsettled. Change had arrived in the form of a legend, and change made people nervous. Inside the garage, tension was building. Hamilton, used to razor-sharp feedback and absolute clarity, found himself waiting during crucial moments. In Monaco, a few seconds can be the difference between a win and an early exit. During a key lap, Hamilton radioed in, "What is the delta time I need to attack?" 3 corners flew by. No response. When the message finally came through, it was too late. The window had closed. On Formula One, there's no going back. The race data told the story in cold numbers. There was a minor change in Hamilton's throttle application, a slight hesitation. To an average viewer, it may have gone unnoticed. But to the engineers reading live telemetry, it was obvious something had shifted. Trust had started to fade. A small miscommunication in the heat of the moment might seem trivial, but for someone like Hamilton, every detail counts. When he later asked, almost casually, "Is Riccardo Adami upset with me?" it wasn't just a throwaway line, it was loaded. Fans unfamiliar with his communication style might have brushed it off as a lighthearted comment, but those who followed his career closely knew better. That question wasn't routine. It sounded more like a signal, a call for help buried under calm words. It wasn't said during a press event. It wasn't shaped by PR. It came in the middle of a high-speed race, when his heart was pounding and his focus was razor-sharp. That's why it hit harder. It was raw and real. A champion's voice, stripped of filters, searching for connection where none seemed to exist. This was no ordinary discomfort. This was Lewis Hamilton, one of the most composed and precise drivers on the grid, feeling disconnected in a place that was supposed to be his next home. He didn't just leave Mercedes to drive another fast car. He moved to Ferrari for something much bigger, to shape a legacy, to write a final chapter that would be remembered forever. But without that vital bond between him and the voice in his ear, that goal already looked shaky. Former F1 driver Juan Pablo Montoya put it bluntly. An engineer who stays quiet during a race isn't championship material. The paddock didn't argue. No one said a word because they knew he was right. Most drivers go through ups and downs with their engineers. But what was happening between Hamilton and Adami wasn't just a normal adjustment period. It was far more serious. Insiders described their communication as cold, almost mechanical. Even in race briefings, where teamwork is crucial, Adami stayed distant. There was no warmth, no signs of trust being built. It wasn't a team learning to work together. It was 2 professionals drifting apart before they'd even truly started. Ferrari, a team built on tradition and pride, now had a critical issue on its hands. This wasn't just about adjusting to a new voice on the radio. It was about whether that voice could ever truly sync with one of the greatest drivers the sport has ever seen. Now, the question isn't whether the problem can be fixed, it's whether Hamilton is willing to wait. He faces a difficult decision. Should he push for a new engineer, someone who understands his rhythm and energy? Or should he continue with Adami, hoping the cracks don't widen further? But changing engineers at Ferrari is not as simple as swapping helmets. It's a move that could ignite internal friction. Ferrari is known for its structure and discipline. Any demand that challenges that system could make Hamilton look like he's trying to take charge, something that might not sit well with the team's leadership. On the other hand, sticking with Adami could mean more races lost to miscommunication. Time, in Formula One, is a rare luxury. Every race without synergy is a step further from the title he's been chasing since 2021. Every delay chips away at performance and confidence. And the longer this continues, the harder it will be to recover. Ferrari for now seems committed to stability. They've avoided drastic decisions, repeating the same calm message. It takes time. But in Formula One, time isn't something you can borrow. It moves fast, leaving no space for hesitation. Each moment lost is an opening for rivals. And in this sport, once you're behind, catching up isn't guaranteed. If Ferrari is keeping Ricciardo, Adami, only to maintain internal harmony, they may be making a bigger mistake than they realize. The message they're sending isn't just about engineering strategy, it's about priorities. And right now it looks like loyalty to tradition is being placed above the once-in-a-generation opportunity that Lewis Hamilton represents. When an engineer becomes more of a symbol of resistance to change than a partner in progress. The real contest doesn't take place on the circuit anymore. It happens behind garage doors, where decisions are driven not by data, but by power, pride, and history. Hamilton didn't sign with Ferrari just to add another name to his resume. He came to do something few would even attempt to bring back. The glory, to build something lasting. He didn't just want to win races. He wanted to leave a mark that could stand alongside the legends of the Red Team's past. But all of that starts with one essential thing: trust. Right now, that trust is missing. And in Hamilton's world where milliseconds matter, and everything runs on timing, an instinct silence isn't just an awkward pause. It's a threat. Every lap driven without clarity is a step away from greatness. So, the next time you watch Hamilton slightly offline, or half a second late into a corner, don't blame fatigue or age. Remember, it's not just about the car, it's about the connection. And without that trusted voice guiding him through the chaos, even the best driver in the world can feel alone. Has Ferrari underestimated how vital that connection truly is? That's a question only time will answer, but time, as always in Formula One, is running out.